Hello everyone, welcome back to another fanfiction storytime. I have gathered a series of older fanfictions once again from fanfiction.net. That site is truly a treasure trove of content, with many writers still active today. As for today's selection of stories, they are all about video games. There are 5 of them, spanning from about 2000 to 2015. All of the authors this time around are currently inactive on the site, as of the last 5 years at least. So, without further ado, sit back, relax, and get ready for some gamer tier throwbacks. The first story was written by Yamato Leonhardt in the year 2000. It takes place in the iconic world of Pokémon. Being the highest grossing franchise of all time, I'm sure you've all heard of it. For me personally, Pokémon was and still is a massive presence in my life. Anyhow, this story is a bit dark, so we're going to start it off heavy. Life, how sweet it is. As I lie on the damp, wet pavement, I realize I took life for granted. I swam through difficulties and faced each challenge with my friends at my side. Even at the Pokémon League finals, my friends were there, cheering me on. But now, the voices sound so far away. I think about everything that I had faced over the past several years, and look up into the faces of my friends. A soft hand comes down to smooth back my hair. The rain falls from the sky and hits the pavement and my face. You're gonna be fine. I won't let you die. I hear. The voice was so far away. I wish to hold on. I wish to hold my memories dear. My years of training, my friends, my mother, and even Professor Oak. I want them all to be here, looking down on me. I want to say goodbye, but I cannot. Too many people, too little time. As my breath gets shorter, and my eyes begin to flutter, I realize just how sweet life is, but I took it for granted, and now, I am paying the price. As the wail of the ambulance gets louder and louder with each second, images of my life flash past my eyes. I try to focus on them and to remember if I ever survive. A voice of a paramedic cuts into my thoughts. You're gonna be okay. Your injuries are serious, but not life-threatening, she said. Please help him, I hear again. With that, I close my eyes and whisper my last words. Pikachu. Pika-P. End. So I'm not quite sure who this story was supposed to be about. I don't know if it's about Ash or Pikachu or what, but quite dark. But that's it. Story number 1. This next tale was written by Angelwind in 2001. It is a story about everyone's favorite megalomaniac, Dr. Eggman of the Sonic series. Yes, I know I covered a Sonic story last time, but come on, we all know the reputation the Sonic fanbase has. I had to spotlight another story from the franchise. If you're listening, Sammy Sonic fan, I still reference your insanely hilarious videos from time to time. Hope you're doing well. I know obviously he's not going to be listening, but hey, come on guys. I don't know if you all have ever seen him, but good vintage stuff. Dr. O.V. Eggman, grandson of Dr. Gerald Robotnik. Eggman walks slowly into his lounge/security room. Security cameras of all his secret bases hooked into this mainframe. In the corner was a fully stocked fridge. If you consider half the shelves dedicated to different types of eggs and the other half consisting of eggnog to be fully stocked. He pushed a button and a glass came out of the side and eggnog poured into it, and a bit of rum was added to it from a hidden stock. He sighed as he took the much-needed beverage and sat down in his large, comfy security chair. He stretched out and took a quick scratch at his, generous behind. Sonic, we're depending on you. You are our only hope. He took deep, grated breaths. Who had said that? Was it Amy? No. She did not have access to the telecom. Was it Knuckles? No. He was busy sifting through the yellow water. At least Knuckles hoped it was water and not something else. Could it even be Rouge? No, and it wasn't Tails, the 8-year-old that Dr. Ovi Eggman, had actually enthusiastically worked with him. It was him. He had said the things that were in the nature of inspiring hope, and he had encouraged them. He was possessed by something hideous, something that revolted him now. He would take over the world. Just they wait until he finished his new plan. A smile spread across the area under his wild mustache. He reached for another scratch, and his fingers ran across something in his back pocket. It was a disc. Suddenly, he remembered a conversation he had had with Rouge before he left Ark. "Here, I found this. This is meant for you," she had said when she handed him the disc. He turned it over in his hands. It wasn't sabotage from the government. That was the Robotnik family seal on the front. He carefully inserted it and turned his attention to the main screen. On it appeared Professor Gerald Robotnik. "Ovi, Ovi, oh, my child, I had known you would find this. You were a genius, unlike that idiot ingrate father of yours." The screen fizzed, and it showed a home video. Sitting on a couch, watching TV was an overweight man with a bowl of hard-boiled eggs in one hand, and in the other hand was an eggnog. He was watching a cooking show which had the title 500 Recipes for the Ova Vegetarian. Sitting nearby in a crib is a rotund baby with no hair, but instead had the beginnings of a really long mustache. He had a toolkit and was busy working a silly putty egg with a blowtorch. The camera turns to observe a homely-looking woman smoking a cigarette and holding shopping bags entering the room. "Ovum, can't you see that little Ovi is making explosives again? Get off your ass and do something before he blows off the side of the house again." The man grunts. Camera moves back towards little Ovi, and the lens suddenly gets covered by silly putty. Ticking can be heard, and suddenly the camera fizzes. The pictures return to a laughing Gerald. Eggman looked down and shuddered. "You were a genius, boy. Unfortunately, you had that selfish streak your father had. No doubt you came to Ark looking to take over the world, yes?" "Nani?" Eggman nearly choked on his nog and slammed his arm down on the table. "Child, you are misguided. You know you don't want to take over the world. You just like starting trouble. 'Tis about time you understood that. Do you want to end up like I did?" He put his drink aside and folded his hands. "Ovi, Ovi, Ovi. You are brilliant, yes? You owe it to mankind to use your gifts for good, see? You are trying to make the people of the world happy." Eggman scratched his chin and ate a hard-boiled egg. "You has the responsibility to make things right." Gerald on the screen lowered his head. The screen went off. The floor quietly clicked as Eggman's shoes touched down. He lifted himself up. He scratched his head. His wicked smile spread across his face. "You are right, grandfather. People will be happy to be a part of the Eggman Empire. But first, I will avenge you. Gun will soon understand the true wrath of our family name." He shook his fist, slammed his glass onto a table, and made for the door. "Ha ha ha ha! The egg jet will be perfect for this." And off he went, to try and take over the world again, assuming it was part of his grandfather's legacy. You really think he changed? Nah. At least in the back of his mind, he's doing it for the benefit of the world. That's good at least. Right? Anyway, Sonic better wake up. It's time to fry an egg. Holds up an eggnog. Here's to seeing that nice side of Eggman again. Cheers. So this story, holy mother, was this egg-centric. I mean, I get that he's Eggman, but I'm pretty sure it was just a nickname. I'm not sure. I mean, this was written way back in the year 2001, so maybe there was like a lot of egg jokes going on at the time, but holy guacamole. Pretty good though, pretty good. Now, up next we have a story from one of the biggest cult classics to hit the gaming memosphere in the past 10 years, Undertale. It was written by Dramatic Dragon 99 in 2015. I was a freshman in college when both the game and this story came out, and though I paid attention to the copious amounts of memes and music covers the game produced online, I never got into the game itself. Regardless, it has a large presence on fanfiction.net, as you might expect, and it deserves a spotlight on this video, in my opinion. Alphys returned home from a quick shopping trip, a few bags in her hands. Nothing important, just some more ramen and these really cute swirly straws she found in the clearance aisle. She got a big bag of spicy beef jerky for Undyne to try, if she wanted. Alphys left the bags in the kitchen, looking around. Undyne must be in her room, since she wasn't out here watching human wrestling, her new favorite thing. She picked up the beef jerky to show to Undyne, and walked to their room. Undyne, I'm home. I got this thing called But before Alphys could finish, she was cut off by her own shock. Undyne was sitting on their bed, cross-legged, with several papers scattered around her. Not just any papers, but special ones. Alphys recognized them instantly. The only time she used frilly pink paper was when she was writing fan fiction, or often, friend fiction. And the papers scattered around Undyne were all frilly and pink. Even within Alphys's moment of scared shock, she knew that those had to be the fanfiction she had written of her and Undyne being together before they actually were together. Cheesy, romantic things. Dates at the dumpster, Undyne leaning down to kiss her, Undyne protecting her and lifting her and swinging her around happily. Horrible, horrible stuff like that. Undyne? Alphys spattered, dropping the bag of beef jerky, her entire body scrunching up in fear and embarrassment. I can explain. What is this stuff? Undyne asked, her voice and face showing no emotions to help Alphys figure out how she was feeling. Well, that's, Alphys let off slowly, sweating wildly. You never told me you had an alternate world hoppy machine-y, Undyne suddenly shouted, a smile glowing on her face, pointing to all the papers. Wait, what? Alphys whispered, hardly audible. It felt as if a physical blanket of confusion was falling on her. First off, that's fan fiction, not records of an alternate world. Second, there is no such thing as an alternate world hoppy machine-y. Third, and most importantly, what? Yeah, all this stuff you wrote. It's from all those different worlds you went to in your time machine, right? Like that one you showed me in that one anime with the time-traveling alien thing, remember? So all this stuff happened in other worlds? Undyne explained rapidly, flipping through the papers. Suddenly, Alphys understood. Undyne didn't realize those were just manifestations of Alphys's love, but rather, they were records and reports from Alphys's visit to alternate timelines or something. And she wasn't freaking out in anger, which was a pretty important part, too. Oh, sure, Alphys replied, not really knowing what to say. It's not like most other situations where truth was vital. This was an exception. How come in all those worlds we got together way earlier? Undyne asked innocently, skimming through the papers and handing them to Alphys, as if she hadn't seen them before. Who knows? Alphys gulped, trying to find an excuse to burn these papers immediately. So where's this super cool machine? I want to go to that other world and fight me, Undyne shouted, patting her muscles in pride. It, broke. Back underground. Sorry. Alphys shrugged, as if it was saddening her to remember that the machine broke. Sorry, Alphys, Undyne pouted. But one day, maybe you'll make another, and I'll fight the other version of myself. Alphys smiled weakly in agreement to Undyne, who was grinning while imagining the amazing fight against herself. Alphys stepped out of the room for one moment and was finally able to get out a pained, exasperated breath she had been holding. I will never write fanfiction again for as long as I live, she promised herself, tearing the papers into little shreds. Why she even kept them in the first place was beyond her. Suddenly, she heard a scream from their room, and she dropped the shreds and rushed back in. Undyne was jumping up and down on the bed, fanning her mouth. Hot, 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 she bellowed loudly, stomping her feet on the bed. Alphys glanced down and noticed a half-empty bag of spicy beef jerky. Well, at least she tried them. Nice little story. Again, never really played the games, so I don't know these two characters too well. Pretty good writing. Lots of, stuttering and stuff from the one character, which it's kind of tough for me to read, but I tried my best. But yeah, that's our Undertale story. Next up is a tale taking place in the beloved Halo universe. The story was written in 2004 by Snake Man. So, pretty much before my days as an avid Halo 3 player, which started in about 2007 when the game came out. That's right, I was an Xbox guy. By 2011, however, I did make the transition to PC. Best decision of my gaming career. Now, we can even experience the glory of the older Halo games on PC. So pretty much my point here being is I don't see any purpose in playing console other than Nintendo. That's just my hot take. This story may remind some of you of the old days of YouTube machinima, specifically Red vs. Blue, the age-old Halo gag. Also, by the way, a huge shout out to anyone who remembers Arby and the Chief. I'm kind of dating myself here. I never thought that would happen, but man, was that a good series. If you haven't seen it, look it up. Just look up Arby and the Chief on YouTube. I'm sure it's still around. Chapter 1, Prologue. It began 5 years after the destruction of the first Halo ring. The effectiveness of Chief's armor was well known and became standard issue for all UNSC Marines. At the same time, two separate groups began to form from the once unified soldiers. One trying to be more political, with one being more gung-ho. They became known as the Reds and the Blues, with their armor being painted likewise. They stayed in their separate divisions, even when stationed on different outposts. The greatest known outpost was Blood Gulch. The two teams soon reached a peace agreement. A television network found the ongoing conflict to be a hot topic and started a reality-based show, focusing more on comedy than action. The Blood Gulch Chronicles so far has made the network $200 million richer and has made many people loyal fans. It is currently entering its third season. However, there is a lesser-known outpost that didn't start with a peace agreement. It didn't end in a successful reality show. Save the Human Covenant Flood War, this calm mission, meant to protect the human outpost, turned into the bloodiest war in recent history. Once again, the political Blues and gung-ho Reds divided into separate groups. They got along fine until one night. Sidewinder. Area. Division Alpha. Time and date unknown. File declassified. The Red Team had deployed 2 Warthog patrol units after suspicious activity in the Alpha Division of Sidewinder. Captain Adam Knowles led the small convoy around the section of the barren wasteland. "Why are we even out here?" the captain said. "The Reds probably caused a disturbance on the radar. Damn them." The captain was addressing a colonel riding shotgun with him. He had experience in these matters. He had previously been stationed in Blood Gulch. Otherwise known as Colonel Tucker. "Well, you never know. This could be a prank, or we all could be screwed." Oh, what the hell is wrong with this thing now? Smash. The captain's warthog stalled, and the following hogs slammed into them. Good God, why does this always happen? It was very quiet, the captain surveying the damage silently. It was then Tucker overheard a slight beeping noise. Sir? What now? Do you hear something?" Knowles nodded and simultaneously checked his gun. He cleared the area while Tucker surveyed the underside of the car. What he saw made him freeze and start backing away. "Tucker, what's wrong?" "Run." "What?" "Bomb!" Tucker yelled and ran. The captain now froze. "Oh, fuck." Boom. Might edit that in, I don't know. The 2 bombs on the underside of the Warthogs went off together and killed 5 soldiers, leaving only 1 survivor. Having ran, Tucker flew 20 feet into the air and landed on his head, unconsciousness closing in, only leaving him enough time to press the distress button hidden on his battle rifle. "Please, help me." Then, nothing. Our final entry for today takes place in a gaming world like no other. I'd personally go as far as to say this might be one of the best games to have ever been created. Ever. The world of Minecraft. If you disagree, let me know in the comments. One thing we can all at least agree on is the fact that this story was written by Linkmaster2207 in 2011. Rhyme not intended. This was the first year I started playing Minecraft myself, and I still play from time to this day. I have to go to a friend's house. I'm making a journal so I don't forget anything. He's a scientist, Dr. Jillings. He is studying the science of transformation. I sure hope nothing goes wrong. Day 2. My word, Dr. Jillings has made a chemical that can reform anything to block form, making life much easier. It even works on humans. Note to self, don't leave the cat in the lab again. Day 3. The usual studies today, nothing new. Other than one of the co-workers that drank the substance is still in a blocky form. We need to find a cure. Day 4. This is a disaster. Gallons of the substance 4-6 were dumped into the water supply. The world is turning into a blocky formation. There's no way to stop it. Even I have begun to turn. Day 5. The world was reshaped today. Everything is gone. No more cities, no more people, nothing. It does seem as though the 4-6 also affected the atmosphere, as the sun and moon both look square. Day 6. I have constructed a house in a cave. It is much easier to survive in a world of blocks. I hope Dr. Jillings is alright. Day unknown. I have been mining for a while collecting resources, when I saw a zombie. It turns out that when somebody dies, the chemical turns them into a zombie, and later a skeleton. Also, the spiders have been enlarged. They are about 6 feet tall or 2 blocks standing on their butt. Day 9. I saw a green thing in the distance. I shall call it a creeper. It blows up when you get near it, and it evolved from a pig. Day 10. I cannot believe my findings. Diamonds. I have gotten so many. I've made armor, a sword, a pickaxe, a shovel, and an axe. Day unknown. I am mining again. I have found obsidian. I am mining it all, not knowing what to do with it. Day 15. I made my doorway out of obsidian, and I was making a fireplace when I accidentally caught the obsidian on fire. But it opened a portal. I do not know where it will lead when I venture forth. Day unknown. I am inside, but it is not what I expected. There is lava everywhere, floating monsters I call ghasts, and zombie pigs that look like men. I have called them zombie pigmen. There is also a fleshy rock everywhere, muddy sand, and stone that glows. I name them for what they are: netherrack, soul sand, and glowstone. I have also decided to call this land the Nether instead of Hell, for it has no description of hell. Day 20. I am being attacked by monsters of all kinds. I made my house elsewhere for fear of things coming out of the portal, and boy was I right. Monsters are attacking the house. Creepers and ghasts are blowing up the walls. Skeletons are raining arrows. Zombies and zombie pigmen come through the holes to attack the spiders, which are scaling the walls. If I don't make it, to whoever finds this journal, find Dr. Jillings. He might have a cure by now. The date is October 31st, 2134, and my name is Herobrine Person. They are It's the end. So this story did have like a ton of grammatical and spelling errors in it, mostly grammatical, because I'm guessing it was probably written by a younger writer. I did try to like correct as many of them as I could to read it smoothly, but if you do check the story out in the description link, you will notice them. But I wanted to make it sound as good as possible for the author, so I just corrected them a little bit, you know. Alright folks, that wraps up the next video game fanfiction spotlight for today. Make sure to check out the links in the description of the video. I link to every single fanfiction, and it would be nice if you guys could show some support to the authors, even though most of them haven't written anymore in the past like 5 years. You know, check them out. Maybe you'll find some other stuff on there too. I hope this video provided you some bit of nostalgia, or at the very least, some relaxing material to listen to. I certainly enjoyed reading these, as they reminded me of days gone by, as I was once a highly dedicated gamer that sunk hours upon hours upon hours into so many different games. If you enjoyed the video, a like, comment, and subscription will go a long way. Check out my channel for the previous fanfiction storytime and for any other content you're interested in. I have set up several playlists for your viewing pleasure at this point. Thanks for stopping by, everyone. Stay tuned and stay cool.